Hey everyone, JCS StarCraft here, bringing you Game 3 of the third place match between Tarson and DIMAGA for the IEM Season 5 Championship. Action getting started here on DIMAGA Caverns. Tarson spawning as the red Terror in the bottom left corner and DIMAGA spawning as the blue Zerg in the top right corner. This match, third place, is for $1,400, I think, so a good amount of money on the line. 1,400. I don't remember what I just said, but it's 1,400 US. 14,000 would be crazy. They would be very, very nervous, I think, both players. But 1,400 for third place, and I think 900 for fourth place. So $400 difference on the line. I think both players would really enjoy that extra $400. And DIMAGA just really doing a very good strategy switch in Game 2. Has normally been going me to Ling, but decided just to punish Tarson by retaliating with his roaches, running in there and just kind of overwhelming him at that point. Tarson now looks wondering if he's going to be going that mass Reaper strategy yet again. I don't know if it's worked for him as effectively as he wanted to in the last game, but we'll see whether or not that's going to happen. So 12 right now. The racks looks like it's going to be going down first. So looks like we're going to be getting a standard 12 racks, 13 refinery from Tarson in this game, which still gives him a lot of different openings to do as well. I'm pretty sure DIMAGA is still going to be going for, almost has to go extractor pool, unless he, tries to risk it. But why do you want to risk that $400 to play something a little bit different? So every player, I think, so far in this tournament has been playing very, very well. We haven't seen any crazy cheese action going on. There have been a lot of really good timing attacks from a lot of players strategically, but right now a lot of really strong standard play. No one really too crazy on both sides. My phone just rang there, so I apologize for that. But that's the comes with the territory of shoutcasting, is you get phone rings. And right now spawning pool going down for DIMAGA. Tarson is going to be throwing that at Tech Lab. I think we will be seeing those Reapers again. So should be pretty interesting to see if DIMAGA can hold it off. Tarson might be able to get his revenge with mass Reapers on this on DIMAGA Caverns. DIMAGA Caverns, a very, very fun map to watch and play. Quickly becoming one of my favorites to watch. The expansions are very, very difficult to hold as they are wide open with multiple lanes going in, as well as this kind of back route with the grass to hide in. So armies can run around and just kind of sneak in there as well. Players have to be very, very active in trying to hold down an expansion. Tarson going to be throwing down this bunker here, really going to annoy DIMAGA, not allowing him to throw down the expansion until he's able to take it out. But it looks like he won't be able to get very far, as those two Lings are going to try to drive away that SCV and punch away at this bunker, though delaying DIMAGA for a little bit. Look at that mineral pile up and just delays him for just a few seconds. DIMAGA getting his revenge on the other side by getting this extractor, forcing Tarson to kind of blast away at it before he has a chance to really get more gas so that he can pump out those Reapers. Tarson now looks like he's going to be saving up for a command center. Wow, so one rack's fast expand might be interesting strategy from Tarson at this point. Not going to be going. Murrow really likes to throw down about like 3, 4, and then 5, 6 raxes, and then really apply that early Reaper attack. Meanwhile, it looks like Tarson's just going to be trying to, I think this is choked off too, with a command center. So going with the 1 Rax FE, and is he going to be pushing out with the Reapers at this point? I'm not sure if DIMAGA has sight. No, he doesn't see the fast expand going down, although he could just run in because there is no anti-air. There are no Marines on the ground. My voice is getting a little horsey, so I'm going to take a sip of water right now. So Reapers now streaming out across the map for Tarson, and just caught off guard. They're just going to get before they were had at any clip. DIMAGA had the DIMAGA watchtower and was able to catch one of them off guard. Unfortunately for Tarson right now, the Reaper strategy not working quite as well in his favor. DIMAGA going to be establishing himself pretty well economy-wise. Just no pressure really. These two Reapers aren't able to pressure, and Tarson, I think, going to just try to focus on his macro as well. Let's see if he's now just pumping out a bunch of Reapers and throwing down that bunker right next to the ramp of his base, trying to stop any sort of Lings to run in at this point. So DIMAGA, I think, kind of nervous still. Every game he's played as a Zerg player in this tournament, there have been a ton of Reapers knocking at his door. So at this point, he obviously is like, where are those Reapers? And going to be going with the Hydralisk Den at this point. I think detects that his opponent isn't going that mass Reaper push. And once these Hydralisks pop out, this is interesting play for me to watch because, you know, I've seen pretty much purely mutiling from DIMAGA against Muro. So finally going to be seeing some variation in his play right now as his opponent. And as his opponent kind of going with a later Reaper strategy and kind of bunking down. I'm not sure if this is, you know, a great move for Tarson at this point. Part of the early Reaper strategy is really to not allow, is to deny the expansion of the Zerg opponent. But DIMAGA now comfortably taking his expansion, and Tarson now going to be retaliating at this point. Does have that critical mass of Reapers, has about 9 Reapers out on the field, and going to be pushing in. I'm not sure exactly what is going on, just using these Reapers to scout. Might be trying to take out the gold at this point and just trying to out macro his Zerg opponent. But looking at the production tab, Spire is going down for DIMAGA as well. The Hydralisk Den, oh wait, did he cancel that? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so in the midst of everything going on, I think he had the Spire going down, had the Hydralisk Den, maybe that was a mistake, but looking at, oh, I guess so, Tarson was able to scan it. Tarson scanned the Hydralisk Den going down, and now is going to be pushing in. DIMAGA with some strategic building trickery right there. Now the Spire is up, and here come the Reapers just caught off there and just running straight into the Lings. Not the best move. You really need to be able to kite and gain some distance with those Reapers. Tarson, unfortunately, I think that was just an unfortunate mistake for Tarson, running them in, losing almost all of his Reapers in that attack, not even able to get off almost any damage at all. And right now, the Mutilisks are coming out for DIMAGA. So very smart move, smart play by DIMAGA. Got scanned with the Hydralisk. I'm not sure if he intended for the Hydralisk Den to get scanned. It was kind of tucked away here in the corner to begin with, but now that these Hydras are out, things are going to become even more difficult for Tarson. Looking at the army count, 64 over 53 DIMAGA over Tarson, and just he does have ghosts out on the ground, so they will be able to snipe away at these Mutilisks, but there are a lot of Mutilisks out right now, and even with the sniping, is it going to be enough? Does he have enough energy really to continually snipe away? DIMAGA is just going to be focusing on producing Mutilisks at this point. Has pretty much only Mutilisks out on the field right now. Doesn't even have Zerglings at this point. Really wants to mass up and take advantage of the fact that his opponent kind of thought that, I think his opponent was expecting Hydralisks, which are light, and the which are light units, which the our Reapers do bonus damage towards. But now the Mutilisks are going to try to fly around and do as much harass as possible. Meanwhile, third base already going down for DIMAGA, and comfortably, look at the map control of DIMAGA. The creep already spread out to the halfway point, and still going to be spread out even further beyond that. And looking at the production tab from both sides, a Roach Roarn is going down as well. So just a lot of things in favor of DIMAGA at this point. Coming in, just destroying a few of the Harvesters, trying to poke around as best as he can, kite away those SCVs, and the Ghost slowly trying to get in there to do some sort of damage against them, but the Mutilisks are too fast and mobile for that to occur. And Tarson being really forced to kind of turtle into his base, unfortunately unable to apply the pressure while DIMAGA just taking control of this map. Is going to take his third expansion right now, and not even mind out of his main at this point. Baneling Nest going up as well, so just a whole bunch of different things for DIMAGA, a whole bunch of mix of units. Would have loved to see this Hydras. Haven't seen much Hydra play in this tournament, unfortunately, but you know, these DIMAGA playing extremely well with the mix of units that he has, and looks like he's focusing on just a big hybrid of units to push in. Looking at the army tab, 97 over 78. This poor little SCV was trying to get some scouting done, but will die a very explosive, boom, explosive death right there. His little drill coming out, and looking at the units for Tarson right now, has just a mix of bio units on the ground. Once those banelings come out, not going to be good news at all. DIMAGA right now breaking down the rock so that he can gain access and try to connect the creep across both sides. This is not looking good for Tarson, in my opinion. There is able to snipe away at the Mutalisk and drive them off with just a handful of ghosts. Doesn't have, I think has Marines. They do have combat shield as well. Stim is, I assumed, research, and yes, it is concussive shell. So the bio units of Tarson are pretty strong, but once those banelings pop, it's not going to be good news. And Tarson, I think, at this point, is going to be pushing ahead. Unfortunately, once timing it with the Medivacs, 127 over 94. Looking at the unit composition, there are 14 banelings, 13 roaches out on the field, and a whole bunch more lings as well, morphing into banelings. 6 Mutalisks in the air, and I want to see this explosion of banelings coming down across. Tarson now trying to figure out where his opponent and has scanned all those banelings. That is a pretty menacing force. The cloaked ghost tries sniping away at the Mutalisk, but oh no, Tarson really needs to get out of there, and just everything's fried. Everything's fried in one. I wasn't even able to pick up the units, and at this point is just going to be overrun with Zerg unit roaches and banelings at his base. Is he going to be able to defend this? I am not sure he's going to be able to defend this push by DIMAGA, and the banelings just going to pop the SCVs. Doesn't even have to worry about too much, and just taking out the econ of his opponent. getting that mule right there with the roaches. So Tarson is able to push back and defend now that he's just gone mass marauders in response. But look at the creep, almost extended all the way down to Tarson's base. Huge map control by DIMAGA. Looking at the army tab, 124 over 77, and at this point everything is in favor of DIMAGA. Looking at the unit composition on the field, 20 roaches out, and he can just run. He can pretty much just push in right now. A ton of more Zerglings coming up. Probably a bunch going to be morphed into banelings as well. These two Marines are scouting this. Not going to be able to take out that army of roaches, and DIMAGA looks poised to win this one. Tarson realizes, thinks he really has to expand, but unfortunately, I don't know if this is going to be enough to hold off the next push by DIMAGA. DIMAGA now just waiting for those banelings to morph in before he pushes in. 134 over 91. Looking at the income tab, both players are, unfortunately, yes, DIMAGA is up significantly, 62 over 48 harvesters, and even with those mules is still able to, even though Tarson has the mules, is still able to outmine his opponent and getting just a lot more gas. So Tarson now forced to kind of bunk down and kind of redistribute and get a bunch of marauders, as there's a huge roach force on the map. With the creep is pushing in as far as possible. Tarson obviously not too thrilled about that. And can he really extend himself out to hit it and try to get rid of it? Trying to scan down, trying to get rid of these creep tumors. Does not want the creep extending into his base, but might be overextending himself at this point. There's a large army right there. DIMAGA, I think, very comfortable with the lead that he has, and just going to use the time to expand and macro up and just kind of build that, push his lead out even more. Looking at the units lost, just a whole bunch more lost for Tarson at this point, and army tab 171 over 119. It looks like DIMAGA really wants to max out, doesn't want to take a chance right now, and really wants to go ahead economically, establish himself for that late game in case Tarson has possibly gone tanks at this point and is able to fry everything. In a previous game between him and Murrow, he charged in a little bit too early into a bunch of siege tanks and lost the vast majority of his army. So I think right now just trying to make sure that his opponent doesn't have just a whole bunch of siege tanks, but everything going to be moving in at this point. Oh, pinning the army in between and just like trapping them in between, and it's just explosions everywhere. So not going to be enough from Tarson. A huge roach army now going to just be like three-shotting everything, every structure on the map, and trying their best to, at this point, Tarson just doesn't have that many units out on the field. Everything going to be going down 163 over 73. And there's the GG from Tarson. So DIMAGA takes game 2 of the specified series and goes up 2-1. This has been JCS Shoutcast, and I am signing off.